Even though compliance with traffic rules and improvement of transport infrastructure is of great importance, the human factor remains an important element that affects the situation on the roads. In our new episode, get ready to see funny, fascinating, and even ridiculous situations that have taken place on the roadway. So, let's go! Surely the ambulance felt someone's call and went to rescue people who needed it. That's what a bad parking spot means. However, do not worry. There was no one in the cars at that moment, and no one was injured. It seems that this man is used to taking everything from life. For example, today he decided to feel like an urban version of Santa Claus. A more suitable place was found for this magnificent bonsai, so they had to work hard to transport it. The Mercedes driver took advantage of the situation, acting extremely meanly and lowly. The only thing that could justify him is if he did compensate for the stolen goods. The stopping distance of the locomotive is several hundred meters, so the driver could not avoid a collision with the car. Despite the complexity of this situation, we can say that the driver of the car is still lucky. Bulky cargo transportation services can be expensive, so sometimes there is a desire to handle it yourself. If a person has something in mind, his ingenuity knows no bounds. Apparently, the dog was very outraged that the owner of the Volkswagen chose this particular place to park his car. When it's too late to turn back and it's very scary to stop in place, you have to keep moving, even in such a mind-blowing place. Either the truck driver has calculated all the parameters perfectly, or it is not the first time he's passed under this bridge. There is no doubt that a real professional is driving who can clearly manage to calculate everything. It's good to have such a loyal friend who will never be in trouble. This horse can perform autopilot functions and return home if necessary. The boy got tired of sitting quietly, and he found a way to entertain himself while waiting for the green signal of the traffic light. Apparently now this fast food trailer will have to find a new owner and settle in a new place. Unfortunately, even professionals in the field of cargo transportation sometimes make mistakes. It is necessary to prepare in advance for the transportation of such valuable cargo. First of all, morally. Most likely, most drivers prefer to keep their distance from this truck. For an inexperienced driver, such a situation might seem extremely stressful, especially considering that there is snow on the road. The fact that this incident did not lead to an accident can be considered a real miracle. Even though this method of towing does not seem very reliable, they allow themselves to drive at a fairly high speed. Unfortunately, the truck driver was unable to control the truck, which is why the body almost overturned. Perhaps he is so immersed in his thoughts that he does not notice what is happening. What a huge mistake, because it will not lead to anything good. Given the peculiarities of this road, no one would dare to exceed the speed limit here. Apparently, BMWs are absolutely not suitable for towing. Perhaps the owner of this goat left it in the parking lot, not thinking that it would not wait patiently for him, and decided to join the trip to the store on its own. At least this time, there's no need to call the police. Drivers should also be on their guard, because if zebras are running so fast, it may mean that there are predators chasing them nearby. Landslides can literally take the road with them, leaving behind only a cliff and rubble. It's a real stroke of luck that no one here got into the collapse zone. He made a risky maneuver, but fortunately, no one was injured. Being in the parking lot during a flood is not a good idea. It is better to go in search of a higher place. During a storm, it is better for trucks to avoid driving over bridges. Strong winds and bad weather conditions can rock the body violently, making driving dangerous and may increase the risk of accidents. The driver coped perfectly with the sharp turn, demonstrating his skill and dexterity in driving the car. Even driving past this car is scary. Suddenly, insects may decide to accompany you. Do you think the truck driver lost his vigilance and attention, or did he feel sick? I wonder at what point he will finally notice that something has gone wrong.
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
The driver of this truck apparently wanted to stop to recover from the stress. Since people have built roads near animal habitats, you need to be patient when they cross the road. Especially when it comes to such a charming family of lions. Even though it's not completely safe, you have to admit that the dog looks very happy. Do you also have a lot of questions about the expediency of such a vehicle? At least the educators are sure that all children are under control and no one will escape, which allows them to organize the process of crossing the roadway. Despite this unpleasant incident, the driver still stopped and did not pretend that nothing had happened. Usually experienced truck drivers are able to correctly assess the height of their vehicle and its cross-country ability anywhere. However, something went wrong this time. I wonder what guided the drivers of these cars when they parked them right next to the railway tracks. Blocking the passage, you should be prepared for the fact that someone will not wait and may react very violently. The owner of this car has put a lot of effort and soul into customizing its parts. Surely his heart will be broken when he sees what happened to it. The owner of this car had left it in the wrong place and at the wrong time, considering that the pipe broke over it and flooded it. Due to the fact that the owner of the Mercedes chose this parking spot, he will not only have to spend a lot of money on repairing his car, but the city will have to live without a new tram for some time. This seagull behaves like an exemplary resident of the city, following all the rules of the road.
Did you teach him about the crosswalks? Nice job!
It's impossible to concentrate on the road when after heavy rain, a magnificent landscape and a rainbow open before your eyes. It seems that a little more and the driver of this truck will have to make an emergency stop. Do you think all the cars will be able to get out to the dealership without damage? His four-legged friend has clearly adapted to riding a motorcycle and now feels confident and comfortable on it. Underground parking provides protection from external factors and thieves, but this will not save in the case of flooding. The variety of cars on the market makes it possible to choose a model that really suits your preferences and needs. Apparently, because of the conflict with the driver of this car, this guy ended up in a very difficult situation.
There are things that are absolutely impossible to believe, and how could this even happen?
If the future owners of these cars knew how they were transported, perhaps they would reconsider their purchase decision. Apparently, nature interfered with their plans, so they found a suitable place where they could wait out the bad weather and relax. The fact that the driver of this car used the brake turned out to be a fatal mistake. From now on, he will probably wait for spring before getting behind the wheel. Are you also curious about the story behind what happened to this car? For such a valuable cargo, appropriate and decent transportation is required. If you think that only Jason Statham is capable of such feats, then you're wrong. It seems that some kind of entity from the underworld is trying to break out. The police should pay attention to this road user. He is clearly breaking the rules and speeding. You can do a lot of things for the sake of your own health. In addition, you don't want to make your legs tired.
Before watching similar videos, it would be great to buy some sedative pills. One needs nerves of steel here.
Most people cannot even imagine such a journey even in their worst nightmares. The modern pace of living is getting faster, so people are forced to adapt to circumstances and save time by any means. They no longer need to worry about transporting a watercraft since they've found the perfect solution. It is unlikely that he took into account that in order to safely transport cargo, you need to think not only about fixing it, but also about what the load capacity of the vehicle is. Even though motorists are annoyed that the birds are not in a hurry, they treat them with understanding and wait patiently. It seems that the city authorities have decided to arrange a free car wash here. Apparently, such a development of events was predictable and could have been prevented. Even while driving, you can enjoy the incredible landscapes and paintings created by nature itself. Probably such a number of birds in the city will significantly increase the number of people who will want to wash their cars. A good helicopter pilot does not need a special platform. He may well use a regular parking lot for takeoff and landing. The cyclist does not want to blend in with the crowd and prefers to always be the center of attention. It seems that this smart is too tired and is ready to return home late at night, only in the arms of his father. This charming, beautiful winding road is located in San Francisco. Without tourists, it's not difficult to move along it. This wheel is not going to deviate from its path in search of a new life. There is already not enough parking space in New York, and when someone decides to install a swimming pool directly on the roadway, the situation becomes even more difficult. It's good that it's impossible not to notice him, given the risky maneuvers he performs on the road. Let's hope that at least something remains of the truck's body until it reaches its destination. The harsh climate requires optimal transportation solutions, such as customizing a car into something capable of driving on ice and snow. Who needs a submarine if even an ordinary car is capable of driving in the water? However, it is unlikely that after that it'll remain in perfect condition and can be considered serviceable. It's a real stroke of luck that no one here got into the collapse zone. There don't seem to be any barriers for this car. It's just incredible that it managed to avoid such an impressive obstacle. Even though it is not a runway, drivers were able to drive next to a fighter plane that day. When time is running out and there is no other way out, some people ignore risks in order to achieve their goals.
Mit Ameise, bist du narrisch. Wie in Ungarn, oder? Österreich meets Ungarn. Bist du deppert.
Despite the large volume of hay that they had to bring, they managed to carefully prepare for transportation and secure it.
And we're moving on at the speed of light. All the most interesting things are still ahead.
To save money and time, people sometimes resort to the craziest things. If they have to drive for more than 5 minutes, then most likely they should prepare for the fact that they'll get seasick. I wonder if the fine he has to pay is really less than the cost of the transportation company's services. It turns out that even if nothing fits in the trunk, you can always figure out how to put the cargo in the car. In Slovenia, motorists are well aware of the importance of a quick response to a siren, so the drivers parted, organizing a corridor so that firefighters could get to the scene in time and provide the necessary assistance. It seems that the driver of this car became not only a witness to the amazing phenomenon of murmuration, but also a participant in it, being right in the center of this spectacle. Water rides are exciting, but this is mainly when you enjoy them on special equipment, and not when your own car suddenly finds itself in the water. In this case, the small size of the car has become a real advantage for the driver. It was easy for concerned passers-by who decided to help him to approach and return the car to its normal position.
If you haven't liked this episode yet, now is the best time to do it.
In general, cars protect people inside, however a lightning strike can disable electronic systems, and a voltage drop can damage the battery and cause a short circuit. Fortunately, this time we were lucky since lightning struck just a few meters from both pedestrians and cars.
Don't forget to share the most impressive moment of this episode in the comments below. See you soon.